Well, hello everyone. I have returned for what I think is going to be the final installment of this particular series. Um, this might just be a short video here. I actually went back and did some mixing and some editing on the monitors and the studio headphones, and I added a guitar solo part here, which I did with the comping. I did 3 takes and then I composited 2 of them together, used 2 of them. I basically threw the first one out and composited the other 2 here. You can see I used that part of the beginning from take 3, then over to take 2, back to take 3, take 2, and then take 3 for that ending part there. And I guess we'll hear that quickly here. I'll play that. You know what? Before we do that, let me turn off the studio monitors here, as they're probably going to create an echo. That was the guitar solo, and then I changed the ending here to I'll shrink this down a bit here. I repeated the chorus a couple times, and I put a little gap between the end of that and the outro basically of the song. And I'm trying to think if I did anything else other than mixing. I don't think I did anything else. So, and that's basically it now. I did some mixing. I did a couple little EQ moves here and there. I did one on the just a small little notch at 5K on the master, which is basically affecting the whole song. Anything you do to the master affects the whole song. So that little notch there is now affecting, you know, not just an individual track, but the whole song. It's a pretty subtle move overall. What is it, like 3 dB? Yeah, 3.3. Little cut there. I think I made maybe 1 or 2 other little moves like that, perhaps. Although, I don't know. Did I? I'm trying to think. I think most of it was just mixing, was just, you know, getting levels of individual tracks to where they sounded as balanced as I could get them, that sort of thing. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I am trying to stick with my original idea, the whole writing for the trash can thing, and trying to be a little less critical. So, keeping that in mind, I don't know honestly how. Like I said, in some ways it seems to have worked backwards. Like you know, what I did with these lyrics, for instance, you know, I almost never, you know, do that thing where, like I said, I wrote a couple more verses or a verse and a half, and then tried to see if I liked any of those lines better than the ones I already had. That's actually kind of going the other direction for me, at least in that regard. So, yeah, it's interesting the psychology or something of it all. But I guess I'll just let it play out here, and we'll have a last listen to this as it is. It isn't, you know, I will mix it down to a stereo wave file and then put it into mastering, as I've shown. I think I've shown that. Anyway, I'll tell you what. Let me see here. Except that it's kind of time consuming. I guess I'll do this. I'll mix it down Got to change the sample rate to 44.1 and the bit depth to 16. That's standard WAV file, like CD, like something you would put on a CD. And then you hit export, and now it's gonna mix down everything onto a one stereo WAV file. Now that's strange. Usually it doesn't play it back when it's doing this. I wonder if it's because I have that that plug-in on there. Huh, it's odd. I wonder what's going to happen when it gets to the end, because it mixes faster than it would normally play.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside.
I guess we'll see here. See, it's almost halfway done mixing it. It's still only in the beginning of the song.
It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss.
Almost done here.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs all alone.
Huh.
For just one.
And like it's still playing. That's strange.
There's something to see, an infinite swirling, shining sea.
That's got to be a glitch.
One moment,
let me see.
I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. The next.
Yeah. I'm sure it has something to do with that plug-in. Just bizarre that it would do that. So I don't know. Let's see what happens here. What my thought was to try and play back the mastered version, but being that I don't have that plug-in on here, I don't know if this will work or not. Let's see. If I go to here. This is the mastering process. I have to wait because this G drive is pretty big. It's got to do this scan. If I try to drag this on here before this little scan thing is done here, it glitches out sometimes. So there we go. It's done. Put that in there. Close that. I'll move this over. Now here's a little thing I do. Open this to 128th note resolution, and then I put a little fade right at the beginning, just like that. And what that does is, if you don't do that, often when it starts, like you're playing it back in a media player or something, or even put it on a CD, there'll be a pop right at the beginning. It's just the nature of how audio files are. So I always do that at the beginning. And then it's just a matter of, this is, I'm pretty sure I went through this before, but all this is it's adding, it's got this compressor on it, and it's basically adding that, adding a little more compression and making it a little bit louder. So I export it again here, and I'll just go down to the previous naming of it. Let's see, where is it here? Right there, and I'll just make it version 2. At the end I just put a 2. Same sample rate and bit depth, and then I just say export. This is always faster. And then go to library here. It's going to be popping up here. We will see if we get any audio playback on this. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. I know we wouldn't in here, I don't think, because I don't have that plug-in. I could put that plug-in on in here, but I'm hoping it'll work this way. Let's see. There it is. I'm going to add it to my album playlist, and let's see if this works. I don't know if it will. Oh yeah.
It waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss. Paradox of life is something to see, an infinite swirling, shining sea. One moment I'm overwhelmed with gratitude, the next I'm in a mood. I still feel like I'm trying to earn your love, oh Lord above. I just don't know, maybe I should go. An old lantern to light my way, I wish I could stay. It feels like I'm trying to save the world. Oh, what a fool I am. happy here. I don't wanna go on.
And there you have it. And I have to say, I think I learned another thing here today, and that is that that sounded that you know, that was a mastered, you know, mastered within this program, the mastering program that I have here, version of this song. And I have to say, it sounded pretty bass heavy to me, much bass heavier than just, you know, when we were listening to it before it was mastered through here. And that's kind of a surprise to me, because I think I always thought that when I listened on these headphones that things sounded bass heavier, and I always assumed it was just the headphones, but it actually sounds like something happened in the mastering process, perhaps. And that's why I was looking through there. I was looking through here while the song was playing to see if anywhere here, if maybe I'd left an EQ on or something, but I haven't. On both of these channels here, the EQ is off, so it wasn't that. And I didn't see any particular EQ on this compressor. It looks like it's just a straight EQ. It's not like a what do you call it, a multi-band compressor where you could be compressing like the low end differently than the mids or the highs. There's compressors that do specifically that. This is just a straight compressor, so I don't know. It's strange to me as to why that is. Now it could just be I don't know, honestly. I thought maybe it could be part of the mixing down process. It could be that once it got compressed, it just accentuated this low. But what I'm going to do here, and I guess I'll bring you guys along if anybody's actually listening to this, is I'm going to do another version, and I'm going to reduce the bass. I'm going to say at least 1.5, if not 2 dB, so 7.3. I'm going to go down to like 7.3 on the bass, thereabouts, if I can. This thing's really touchy. It's hard to be exact with this thing. Let me see. There we go. That's a finer. If I hold shift, I can get finer control. Okay, there's a 2 dB cut there. Now let's try this. This is time consuming, but hey, you know. Let's see. This. We'll call this version 3. See if this sounds any better. That bass sounded, I mean, honestly, yes, it sounded, and it's doing this again. I wish I had remembered to turn that thing off, but that's all right. I mean, I was gonna say that while it did sound kind of boomy, it was kind of cool in its own way. I do think it was overblown, but sometimes I actually like a lot of bass. Like, I don't know, I think a lot of people do, for whatever reason, you know. Even to the point where it's overbearing sometimes.
It waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice.
Now see, like if you're listening to it here, I don't know how well you can hear me, but as we're listening to it here, it doesn't sound as boomy as it did anyway.
Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss.
We'll see once we do the mastering. About 2/3 done now, so it's almost done here. I like the bass to sound big. I mean, I like everything to sound big, really, but it did sound a little overblown, though.
I'm stopping here. I don't want to go on.
It's almost done.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs all alone.
This level actually here, to my ear, sounds pretty good. I like it. But let's see. Let's we can do a couple of things here actually. Let me see. I think I'll save this again. Go over to mastering. Find the file here. Here it is. Drop it in there. And the first thing I'll do, well, I'll do that little move I showed you first. Go out to 128th note resolution. Put in that little fade there. And I'm going to turn this thing off and just listen to it. Ah, except I can't. I'd have to put that plug in here. Let's just bounce it. Let's make sure. Yeah, none of the EQs are on. So let's just this is even faster than the other one. So let's just do this. This is faster, a faster bounce. I would say it takes maybe half the time or something. So this will be version 4. Export. It's gonna pop up here. Right around here. You know, it could also be a facet of this media player. I also looked in, I don't know if you noticed, but I also looked in there, and it didn't say that the EQ was even on, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't, it's not adding something somewhere else, basically. So here we go. Let's see what we get.
It waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name 'cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss. I'm trying to save the world. Oh, what a fool I am. I'm stopping here. I don't want to go on. I'm stopping here. I don't want to go on. I'm stopping here. I don't want to go on. I'm stopping here. I don't want to go on. I'm stopping here. I don't want to go on. I'm stopping here. I don't want to go on.
And there you have it. That was actually starting to play back a video, a previous video, because that's on the playlist here too. But I think it sounds better. It's definitely got less bass. You know, is that the final version? I don't know. I usually have to listen to them for a while, you know, till I really listen to it on like the boom box I have in the other room, and maybe just listen to it more on here before I really form a solid opinion about it. I think I've mentioned that before, but it sounds better than that first version anyway. I think the first version was just too much bass, too boomy. But again, the whole writing for the trash can approach, you know, I don't know. I don't know if you know, in the final analysis, I'm going to think that this was that I found some value in taking this approach. Although I think I already have, because I think that I don't know. If nothing else, it's made me think differently about the process and consider some different things. And I think in all honesty, it kind of helped me get to continue on with my process, because I think I was getting to a point where it was getting difficult for various reasons, some of which really had nothing to do with the music itself, external situations and whatnot. And I was just, you know, I don't know, how my motivation was getting low, I think, maybe, and the idea that maybe I didn't have to try so hard, I think, was inspiring me to continue. If that makes any sense. You know, I thought, well, you know, maybe if I don't take such a critical approach, I'll be able to just kind of, you know, keep banging along on some level. And that's what I did. And so in that sense, I mean, I'm getting close to, you know, another completed album here. I tried to look at this before, and let me see. Can I remove these other? This is weird. This thing does some weird stuff. I just want this on there, and it's like it's as if there's still something here. And now it's like, let's see, clear list. Put that. You know, I tried to add all these before. I could do it real quick here, I guess. As long as it doesn't glitch out on me and do something strange. I'll see how far I've gotten along here. I mean, I try to get as close to 80 minutes, which is, you know, the max you can put on a CD, as I can, which is kind of strange, I suppose. But I don't know. It just comes. I think it came from just kind of an economical perspective. I thought, well, you know, I'll have to use less CDs if I can get, you know, more stuff onto one. Plus, I like the idea of just, you know, I don't know, being prolific or something, I suppose. Just want to see what the total time of this is here. So we're at 71 minutes. We're almost, you know, we're like 9. I mean, obviously I won't go a full 80 minutes. I go a little under that just to leave some breathing room so nothing gets cut off or anything. But I've got 19 songs and that's 71 minutes. So I'm, you know, not far away from a full CD. Maybe 2 more songs, like 2 more 4-minute songs or something, roughly, you know. And I guess maybe do I want to burn a version of this? I don't know. But anyway, that's going to do it for now. Again, I hope this was interesting. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to add before I end this. But how long is this one? Yeah, this one's about a half hour. That's fine. They don't have to go an hour long. I don't want to just, you know, try to put filler in here just to make it longer. But yeah, anyway, you can see my track count only went up to 10 here. 10 tracks, you know. However, it is somewhat deceptive because, you know, if we look at the drums, now I don't think I used all these flexi parts, but how many tracks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then again, I don't know if I use these flexi parts. However, there are, I don't know how they're counting the, I think they're just counting the cymbals as overheads and rooms. Because those aren't, what's on a flexi? Like that's a cowbell, I didn't use that. Like this one's empty and that one's empty. So yeah, I didn't use any of these flexis, but I used all these, you know, which are 2, 4, 6, 7 tracks. And then there's also this, all the cymbal microphones, which strangely enough are not listed here. I mean, they're listed here. Again, you can't hear it because I turned that other little plug-in off. But I mean, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cymbals. So I mean, if this was, and again, cymbals aren't always mic'd individually. They're often mic'd as overheads or with room mics. So it could have been just like one stereo mic on the cymbals or something. But I'm just saying, if you had these, and you can do that too. You can. I was going to say, if you have these split into individual tracks, that would be adding at least, let's say, 8. At least 8. Well, if you subtract this track itself, it would be adding 7 more tracks. So 7. It would be like 16, basically. 16 tracks is what it really is. That's the way I look at it. It's closer to 16 tracks than. It's just that this one happens to be all on one, and that mixer is built into that software. So it's almost like doing a sub mix of this stuff before it goes into this mixing section down here. What was I gonna say? So yeah, there's like 16 tracks there roughly, and there was something else I wanted to add to that, but I can't remember what it was. Just that, in terms of, mixing, from what I've seen anyway, that's a pretty small track count. I've watched lots of videos of, like professional engineers and producers mixing stuff, and they often have, I don't know, somewhere around 50 maybe tracks, something like that. I don't know, maybe not that many, but yeah, I would say between 25 and 50 maybe, somewhere in there, that range of tracks, and I just, I often try to push myself, I gotta do more tracks, I gotta be like those guys, or something, And I just, I end up feeling like, geez, I'm just, I'd just be throwing stuff in there to be throwing stuff in there. I don't feel a need for it really, but I got to do that sometime, just for the heck of it, just to see what comes out, And I have done, certainly done up in the 20s anyway. I think up around there. I've done songs that I had 20 or so tracks, but generally speaking, this is probably around the standard size. Like around 16 tracks is probably about, counting the drum track again, counting the drum as individual tracks. It's probably about standard for me. And I don't know. It is what it is. But I don't know. I can't think of anything else to talk about right now that wouldn't just be me blabbering on. So I'm going to stop just for a second just to make sure. I always feel like I'm forgetting something. Or I'll remember something as soon as I turn it off. I don't know. I can't think of anything. So I'm going to sign off for now, and I hope if anyone has actually listened to these, or watched these, I hope you found some enjoyment in it. One other thing I did, I guess, that I'll mention quickly here, is I noticed that my signal I had already turned down the signal for my mic, because I noticed after the last, at some point during this current series, I noticed that this was getting into the red. So I turned down my mic. Hopefully that was a little less distorted towards the end of this series anyway. And then I also noticed that the music was doing the same thing, and I turned that down a little bit. So hopefully it sounds a little better. The levels within the video recording software here. So again, thanks for coming on this journey with me if you did, and maybe we'll have another series at some point. Thanks again. Bye-bye.